Hello, hello. Welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Matt.
On today's episode, we're reviewing Fable and Folly, their 14-year American whiskey.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and click that notification bell. Matt, tell us a little bit about this product I've never heard of.
This is Orphan Barrel Fable and Folly with this cool animal on the front that I really like. It's 14-year American whiskey here.
It's like a fox horse.
It is. It's a fox horse.
Horsebird.
It's a stag. It is a hummingbird and a fox combined. The reason for that is this is a product that combines the Barterhouse, the Forged Oak, the Rhetoric series, and then also a rye and a corn whiskey that was left over from all the Orphan Barrels they've made in the past. And we've never reviewed any of those, but they're all delicious. But I have several of them we review at some point in time. So let me tell you a little about the history of Orphan Barrel. It was created by Diageo in 2013 to basically find a way to bottle up all the old stuff they got sitting around at old Stitzel Weller distillery. They're like, we need to bottle this crap and get it out of our warehouse. But they're like, oh, it's all the famous remarks. And technically ended up being really good stuff for the most part, so it wasn't really that big a deal. But they had to come up with some brand to get rid of this crap, was basically the point of it. But yeah, so they own Stitzel Weller, and they have also Dickel, which you're so excited about. There's none of that in here, so don't worry about it. There's Pittyvaich and Port Dundas, which are some of the Scotch brands, and also, of course, they own Crown Royal, which is the entrapment one, and Muckety Muck and Forger's Keep were those other ones, but we'll cover those another time. All right, so what's in this bottle is what you actually care about. This is 45%, so okay. It's 14 years old, American whiskey. Like I said, it's bottled at Stitzel Weller, which is interesting because all the other prior products are actually bottled at Dickel. So I actually bottled it at Stitzel Weller, which is very interesting they did that on this one. Like I said, the remaining stocks are Barterhouse, which is a 20-year whiskey, Forge Oak, which is a 15-year whiskey, and then all the Rhetorics are between 20 years old and 25 years old. So there's a lot of old whiskey in here. But it says 14-year because we know that the rye and the corn whiskey they're out of this, the minimum of that was 14. So like I said, this is Master Blender Andrew McKay that made this, and it pays homage to the original releases, yet possesses a distinct profile of its own. It's 6 different whiskeys combined into this to make it an American whiskey. And they said this is the spirit animal. And like I said, that's Fable and Folly, which is, like I said, the stag, the hummingbird, and the fox. And so if you look in the bottles of the original ones, Barterhouse has a fox, the Forge Oak has a stag, and the Rhetoric has a hummingbird on it. So you got this cool, fun spirit animal on here. All right. So like I said, let's see what we think of this.
May I just say, I don't think the hummingbird's wings are going to lift the stag.
I was thinking the same. I was like, well, that's the biggest damn bird wing for a hummingbird I've ever seen, but sure. Whatever you
they
say.
move so fast, they might.
All right. Let's see if we knows this beautiful.
Ooh,
I get a lot of rye notes.
and so vanilla caramel tones.
The spearmints.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Rye
I
bread.
love this nose.
there's so much going on in there.
Caramel. Cinnamon.
Like red grapes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that one.
Yeah,
Cherry.
caramel.
It is cherry.
Definitely cherry. Definitely some like pralines, brown sugar, shoe polish, old oiled used leather or worn leather.
Maple syrup on buttered pancakes.
Yeah.
It's very
Oh,
maple
yeah.
forward, and not
A lot
like
of nice cinnamon apples like at Chili's. Some
Ooh,
new
Yep.
barrel char. Some really nice oak. Like I like that old oak in here. It feels
Old
really
oak.
good.
Like worn
Orange.
wood.
Yeah, some cherry apple, caramels and vanillas.
There's
This
a
is
lot going
beautiful
on in
nose.
this glass.
It's odd to find both cherry and apple.
yeah.
It is,
But
but
it's
I think
there.
since you're doing 6 different types of whiskeys are basically added to this,
Yeah.
it's just going all over. This is a beautiful. Like I love all the whiskeys that are in this anyway. So this I knew was going to be a very exciting. Now, unfortunately, all those range anywhere from $50 to $200, depending which one you had of those. I think this one's $150 comparably to those. But where else are you going to get Stitzel Weller stuff that's that age group? A, Stitzel Weller doesn't exist anymore. But B, this smells wonderful.
Yeah. It really does. There's a lot going on in this nose, and you can probably spend hours. just
Rarity
doing
is a major factor in price.
What is the price point on this particular?
150.
150. he said.
150.
Oh
Okay.
God,
You get a lot of
so
packed
good.
brown sugar,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really does.
like fresh out of the package when you open a
Mhm.
package of brown sugar.
Oh. Yeah, like
Oh.
it's got little lumps in it.
Yep.
It smells so good. This is one of
It
my
really does.
favorite noses I've smelled in a while on a especially an American whiskey. It's not even a bourbon or anything. That's just beautiful.
Well, it is very complex. I'm excited that it's complex because if
I
I'm
could
paying
live in
that
this
much money
nose
for
for
a
quite
whiskey,
some time.
I
if
want
it's-
some stuff going on there.
right? If it's a simple little nose, man, I'm not gonna be very happy about it.
No, that
All right,
nose is everything I hope for.
I'm happy with the nose.
How old did you say this was?
14 minimum. So basically, there's everything from a 14 to 25 in here.
On the front of the palate, it's a little thin.
I was gonna say the same thing.
It's
Which is-
thin because I think they took it down to 90 proof, which I think, to be honest, would be better if it was higher proof.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
Because at the very tail end, all of the oak tannins are showing up.
uh-huh.
Yes.
It was sweet up on front, but my gosh, it is just drying and like
Mhm.
licking a piece of charred wood at the end of this.
Yeah, with a lot of black pepper, cinnamon, rye spice, honey, worn leather, with some like dry walnuts and ginger snaps in there.
They might have had to proof it down to get it.
That could be to get the oak tannins out. That could be
It's a little
black
disappointing
cherry,
though.
plum. Yeah, the nose is beautiful. The palate is not quite as good as I was hoping, but
The-
it's good.
It's
for what
good.
it is.
There's a lot going on in the palate as well. Lots of flavors there, and I could see this opening up so much. But the thinness on the front of it, especially because, I mean, it's almost like it's barely there on the tip of my tongue when I drink,
Whoa.
is very disappointing. I was hoping for a rich, viscous mouthfeel, and with all that going on, and it's
Second
lacking.
sip gets way more powerful black pepper, and it gets a little bit thicker, more oaky, more tannic, but not all in good ways.
It stepped up a bit on the second sip. I really kind of gave it a good Kentucky chew and really
Yeah.
tried to, give it that real good mouthfeel. Try to give it a chance to spread
Mhm.
around the entire palate. It's better. I'm still,
That's not the
personal
nose.
opinion, I'm not super thrilled with my purchase of 150 at this point.
Yeah, the problem is this is also the remaining stock of those whiskeys, so it's one of those. None of those can be made again, and they had to find something to do with it.
Right.
So it's like, what do we do to get rid of this whiskey? It's kind of like I said, it's the kitchen sink of the Orphan
that-
Barrels.
Third pass, I got a lot of rye notes up front, the spearmint and the rye breadiness and doughiness of it, along with that black pepper that you were talking about. It's like going through phases.
I wonder
It's complex.
It really is.
if in like a year with some oxygen, what this does.
I'm curious that too. If it grows a little bit more,
or just unfurls a little
yeah.
bit more.
Yeah,
might
and it
just
may
be
take some
really, really
time.
tight still.
but I just feel like that thinness is just is not going to go away, and
That's
the
its downfall.
Yeah, it's the only
Yeah,
thing
it's
it's
the
wrong.
disappointing
The
part.
proof's a little too low. But like we
Mhm.
said, if it's because it's to take the oakiness out, there's not much you can do about that.
Right. They
And
might
And
have.
then again, maybe that's what it was left because when you are talking about some really old whiskeys, maybe that is close to. I'm sure it's proof down some, but
See, I would have probably tried to proof down the older whiskeys
before blending.
before blending.
and maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they did. That's a good question.
And see, I don't necessarily think this is like way over oaky at this. I think they could have
No,
probably left it up a
it's
couple
not.
I do too.
notches.
I think they could have dialed up the tannin, the
Just
oak
a little
tannin
bit
a little
more.
bit more because of the sweetness on the front side of the palate.
And then at home, if you wanted to tamp that down a little bit, you could. But
Right.
there's no changing it now. There's no going back, and
True.
that's unfortunate. But I'm not saying it's bad. I will say that I wouldn't pay 150 for this
I'm almost
if I
picking
had
up.
tried it first.
I'm almost picking up like that Sagamore rye, kind of Monongahela rye on that third sip. That's interesting.
Nice spicy rye. Yeah.
It's
Oh.
it's nice, but I'm not thrilled about what I paid for it.
Yeah, a lot of this has to do with rarity more than
Yeah.
anything else. It's just rarity. So unfortunately, there's not
You're
much.
paying more for that.
It's retail. So you're paying for Stitzel Weller. You're paying for rarity. Paying for closed distilleries.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yep.
But it is nice.
I think this was a bit of a money grab too, though.
I have no doubt.
I think this could have been priced at 80 and still made them some money.
Yep.
So
Oh, I'm
I
sure. I'm sure.
Agree.
I'd have been much happier paying 80 for it.
Agree. But other than that, it's good whiskey. The nose is unbelievable. The palate, of course, does not live up to the nose, but
Yeah,
it's
the
still
nose is
really
where
good.
it's at.
It's still a really
Yep.
good whiskey. But I'm interested to see how it develops over a year or so in the bottle,
Me too.
being open. So we'll come back and revisit in a year or so. We'll let
Yeah.
you guys know.
Sounds good.
All right. Can I go down?
Please.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you're sure to get that update when we go back and review it again. And hit that notification bell. Come hang out with us live on Monday nights. Until next time,
Keep on crusading for the whiskey in your glass.
cheers.
All right, we got 2 more, and we should be done in the next 10 to 15 minutes. All right, the first one is the Royal Rhino. It's got a rhino horn. You know I'm excited about this shit.